Poor girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Font is great.
It is. Oh, it is now. Yeah. So I know the roadside guy said, "Oh, you want to sell that? I'll buy it." I said, "Yeah, you and about 4 of my neighbors would like it." Yeah. Well, I drove a Jeep for years and years and years. Yes, I think.
Everybody ready?
7 o'clock.
Ready? It's time to call the Ferrysburg City Council meeting to order for Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Greg, could you call roll, please?
Mayor Carlson,
Here.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Here.
Councilmember Sias,
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Here.
Councilmember Kate,
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Here.
Councilmember Surley.
Here. We could all rise for an invocation by Councilmember Kate, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord God, with thanks for the blessings of the day now past, we ask for your direction and guidance during this meeting as we do our best to exercise your good gift of government. Pray for all our city workers, for those who have to be out on the roads tonight doing whatever it is they do. We pray for their safety. Pray for the safety of all men and women who wear the uniforms of their country, city, or their state. We ask you blessings tomorrow, our election process. We pray for special blessings on the election workers who have to put a very long day. Pray that all will exercise I ask this.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. If we could move on to number 5, public comments, the time on the agenda for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the city council. Time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have any comment or question, please position yourself in front of the line near the wall where the podium is located to ensure visibility and to be recognized. And after being recognized by the mayor, please give your name and your address of residency for the record and proceed with your comment or question. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Yes.
Good evening, Rebecca Happ, former mayor, City of Ferrysburg, P.O. Box 85, Ferrysburg, 49409. The West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission serves as a designated metropolitan planning organization, the MPO, responsible for coordinating regional transportation planning from Muskegon and northern Ottawa counties. Active participation in the MPO proceedings is essential to ensure the City of Ferrysburg maintains an effective voice in the regional infrastructure planning and funding allocation. It is a concern that Carlson has failed to attend 42% of the MPO meetings since November of 2023, reflecting an attendance rate of only 68%. Historical attendance data depicts Regina Schoberg failed to attend 0% of the MPO meetings from 2015 until 17. In contrast, during my term as mayor from 2017 to 21, we maintained over 90% attendance rate and successfully secured funding for Smith's Bridge replacement prior to my leaving the office. Similarly, Mayor Blease achieved 100% attendance under his leadership from 21 to 23, and the city obtained the funding for the reconstruction of 168th Avenue. Since 2023, I have regularly attended the MPO meetings and more recently attended as a representative of the Harbor Transit Liaison Board. I'm very aware of Carlson's extensive absence. Yet, Carlson's campaign propaganda states, I committed to improving roads and bridges. Regular and consistent attendance of the MPO meetings is not merely a procedural obligation. It is a fundamental in safeguarding the city's transportation interest and ensuring continued access to regional and federal funding. Given Carlson's persistent absences, this council should have given serious consideration to appointing an alternate representative who could have fulfilled these duties on behalf of the city and the residents.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments tonight?
Good evening, Josh Bruger, City of Grand Haven. Tonight, I guess I'm in my role as Ottawa County Commissioner. And it's the eve of an election night. I just wanted to stop by and thank all of you for your service to Ferrysburg and to our citizens in West Michigan. And I have won and lost campaigns. I've probably run a few more than I would have cared to do so. But I know that, like me, you're all committed to serving the community and putting service above self. So the one thing that I have always enjoyed when somebody sends me this, it's from Teddy Roosevelt. And book, by the way, if you would like to read about Teddy Roosevelt. But I'm going to read a particular quote from him. It's The Man in the Arena. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself on a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt. Good luck to you all who are running, and thank you again for your service.
Any more public comment tonight?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. John Stafford from 504 Fifth on Ferrysburg, former city council person. I just wanted to say I've been a resident of the city for 40 years now, since 1985. And these past few years have just been magnificent. You know, I've been retired 10 years, that helped. But the last few years, I really wanted to thank the city, all the council people, the mayor, city manager, staff, for the job that they do just across the way from the Public Works Department. I see the Public Works people out there, the beautification committee with the flowers and the banners. I just love this city and wanted to say thank you. Also, given the state of the federal government shutdown, I would ask that we have a moment of silence or prayer that the parties can find a way to get together and resolve this for the sake of our membership and our citizens in the country. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional public comment tonight? Seeing none, let's move on. Agenda item 6 is consideration of approval of the consent agenda. 6A, approve the October 20th, 2025 City Council minutes as printed. 6B, approve the bills memo in the amount of $166,697.99. That's different than what's printed in your agendas. And 6B, approve participation with the Michigan State University First Impression Tourism Assessment for $5,550 and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
So moved.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got one question for
You bet.
Craig. Am I up?
You bet.
Craig, on, billing here and, check number 1967, Trinity Health Workplace, Fire Department, second Hep B vaccination. Can you explain that to me? Is that something that we normally do?
Yes, for all new employees for the fire department.
Okay, all right, thank you.
John,
Yes,
I have a question about the Michigan State First Impression Assessment for 5,500. Is this in addition to the fees that we paid when we initially signed up for this service? Wasn't it 3,500 when we initially signed up for the service? I could be wrong. I'm just curious.
This is the first first time it's been to city council to approve spending any funds for it. When we brought it back to city council, it was gonna be between $5,000 and $6,000.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Craig?
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias, Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Searly,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to new business 7A, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve soliciting bids for a new fire truck. Chief Olthoff, you can come up. And I don't know if city manager or the chief are going to discuss this first.
Well, I thought I'd come expect more support tonight. Does all my work for me.
Is Craig, you're going to start off, or the chief?
No, I can handle this.
The proposal solicit bids to go out for bids for a new fire truck. We've been in planning for this for, I don't know, what we were planning on replacing this truck originally in about 5 years ago now. And the truck was in good enough shape where we've put that replacement off to this point. Right now, I'm not gonna stand here and tell you that the truck is falling apart, we can't use it, anything like that. It's nothing like that. We're to the point where it's a 26-year-old unit by the time we were to replace it, and we're gonna be closer to 30, halfway to 30. NFPA only recognizes a frontline engine at 25 years, regardless of if it's passing pump tests, regardless of if it still runs. The truck's in great shape. It's been a good unit for us. We did have plans in the equipment replacement fund to replace this truck, so that's what this is before you for tonight. The issue that we've had here going forward the last few years is we had anticipated initially a replacement cost of this truck of $500,000. As everybody knows, as prices are going up, and particularly in the fire truck market, this truck to replace the unit that we have sitting in the station right now, apples for apples, would be over $1 million. And as a fire chief, I would love to have a truck like that, but as a taxpayer, I can't justify that. We as a department, or as the officers group, we went looking for some different things, some different options. We talked to a couple of the different fire truck manufacturers, and we found by taking the custom cab off of this truck, which by custom cab, I mean you see these fire trucks that have like, they carry like 6 people in them, okay? To buy a truck with a cab like that versus a standard 2-person commercial chassis like I'm proposing here, the cost difference is $300,000. I cannot justify spending $300,000 to have a truck that hauls 6 guys when 99% of the time the truck only goes out of the building with 1 or 2 in it. It doesn't make sense. The big thing with the larger cabs in that, yes, they're more spacious, they're more comfortable for the crew, but we cover 3 square miles. We're in the truck for 2 to 3 minutes. We've talked this over, and I've got some staff that's given me some pushback. They'd rather have the other style, but From a economical point of view, the truck I'm proposing is gonna do everything that our current truck does. And the main purpose of the truck, folks, obviously, is to get there and put the wet stuff on the red stuff. That's all it's gotta do, and get us back in one piece. That's all I'm trying to do here. The only thing that this truck doesn't have, that our current truck does have, is a Cascade breathing air supply system on it. And over the years, departments have gone to larger SCBA bottles on their packs now. So we really haven't utilized that piece of equipment on our truck for a number of years. So I don't really see putting money into that to continue that. We'd recently purchased a new breathing air system to be installed in our station. So if we had to have bottles filled, we could easily enough go back and do that. So I really don't see the cost. There's not a real cost benefit to putting that back on the truck, I don't see, so. But otherwise, this truck will come with a brand new set of rescue tools on it. Cutter, spreader, and ram, that's the jaws of life, as they would call it. It will come with that, and it will come with basically set up exactly the same as our current truck, with all the same amount of hose lines, the deck gun on it. And they're telling me that this truck could be purchased for between $600,000 and $650,000. So in my mind, it makes more sense to go this route rather than to spend $1 million or $1.2 million. And I've been told by the two fire truck salespeople that I've talked to, the longer we wait, the more it's going to cost. Fire trucks went up in price 12% last year. They're looking at 6% this coming year. And the cab that we're looking at, the two cabs, the commercial cab is going up $100,000 in 2026 because of the new emission standards that's coming for 2027. And the commercial cab is going up $60,000 next year. So we're in kind of a catch-22 to catch this before we add that additional cost. So that's kind of where we're at. Did I miss anything on that, Craig? I think that's pretty much what we talked about.
That's correct. The only other thing I would add is that we're just asking to go out for bids on this
Right,
for the fire truck. Once the bids come in, they'll come back to city council for approval.
right.
Your Honor? Craig, if we solicit bids, they lock that price in for the 2 years it takes to build it?
The two companies that I've talked to so far, yes, they will.
Okay. The other question I got is what kind of engine we got in this thing?
This is a Cummins 300,
That's all I needed to know.
Cummins 360 horsepower. The current truck we have has a Cummins 370 horsepower, so about 10 horsepower
Well,
less.
My concern was if we went with an international.
No,
they're gonna
this is
wait.
a Freightliner that we're looking at.
Gotcha. The other question I got is with a two-man crew, yeah, typically you only have 2 men and then the volunteers meet you at the job, at the,
Well, they're either meet us at the job or they're coming to the station to get our other equipment.
so they're bringing a second truck.
Yep.
So you don't see any downside as far as my safety with 2 men in it?
I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Our current truck only hauls 2 people too, so.
Now, the other question I got is the old truck now, is there any value in that as trade-in?
One dealer told me there is some value, not a lot, because it'll be over 25 years old, and when they get to the 20-year mark, they drop dramatically. 15 years is kind of the break-even point where you could sell it for a little more. But there is one dealer that we're talking to that would take it as a trade, but he said you probably wouldn't get much more than 10,000 for it.
So my other question would be, is that something we should, do we have room in the fire department to keep that as a reserve truck, as backup? Or is that not necessary in your mind?
I don't know if it's necessary. Would I love to? Yes, I would love to, but again, you're adding cost. And it's really not good to have the truck sitting there not being used. That's
Okay.
what kills them.
Okay,
The
thank you.
water's not flowing through the valves and things like that leads to other problems, so. Then you gotta insure it. So,
You're the boss, man.
yeah.
That's why I'm asking you questions.
I
What
would
do you
love
want?
to, Mike, I'd love to, but.
Well, I think maybe it might be advantageous to us to look at how much it costs to insure it and keep it as a backup. just in case this thing goes down or one of the other vehicles go down.
Well, that is one of the other concerns, you know, the newer fire trucks versus the one we're replacing, you know, all the stuff is all gone electronic now.
And it's
You know,
not
so-
reliable.
And you hear a lot of fire departments buying $1.5 million fire trucks and they're in the shop more than they're on the road.
I understand. That's
So-
why, that's my concern, that we keep the other one in as a backup. Because, this new emissions stuff and all electronics, they're in the shop more than they're
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's the other push to maybe get this done before 27, because that first year, that new emission is gonna be nothing but trouble too.
Right. Thank you.
I know the fire chiefs in Ottawa County have been pushing our legislatures a little bit to try to get the federal government to lax off of the fire service equipment for that emission standard.
Didn't they,
Because the military isn't required to cover, you know, be in that.
right. Didn't they just, EPA just rule on that they could, eliminate that on some service vehicles?
I have not heard that. We had the legislative dinner with the legislatures here, with the fire chiefs in September, and there was some discussion that, we had talked about it last year when they were there as well, and there hadn't been any movement on it, so I don't believe it's been.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve soliciting bids for the new fire truck.
Support.
Also, if you're not going to get much for your old truck, I'm with Mike. You might want to consider.
We could certainly put some numbers together to see what it would cost to hold on to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it, because really, the truck is in really good shape. The big thing with it is, when it gets past that 25-year time frame, if ISO comes in and audits us, you get knocked for that. So,
But with the new truck online, we wouldn't get knocked down, correct?
right,
Even though we kept it as a backup?
Right.
I'd be interested in, running some numbers as to what it would cost us to keep it in service.
we can certainly look into that.
Okay.
Yes.
We have it in writing that if it takes 2 years, if we order now, we'll be grandfathered in.
I don't have it in writing, I just have it verbally from the manufacturers that I've talked to.
We probably want to bear it.
Could you require that as part of the bid process?
I could.
Please, please
Just
do
wanna
it.
make sure we're covered.
Yep.
Anyone else have any comments before we take a vote? No, Craig?
Councilmember Sias,
Yay.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Sturley,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, and if you got questions moving forward, please somebody let me know. If you want to come over and look at our current unit, we're always there, so I'll be more than happy to show you what we got and what we're looking at doing. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, that's a waste of time. It's got tires. That's all I need.
Needs a little more to some folks.
Moving on to 7B, adopt ordinance number 339 to amend the city code by amending Chapter 154 zoning, Article 3, general provisions, Section 3.190, outdoor placement of motor vehicles, boats, and RV-type vehicles, and use of RV vehicles for temporary living purposes, including a provision for temporary living under certain circumstances and conditions. Go ahead, Greg.
So at the last meeting, City Council reviewed this ordinance and requested some changes. One of the big changes is they wanted to clarify exactly when an RV would be able to use for dwelling places when someone's working on a house, that it wasn't something that was self-created. It was more a catastrophic issue to the house, so that the RV would be available to use on the property. And the other item was that it went down from an extension of additional 2 possible years down to 1 year for sure, and 1 possible extension for 1 year.
And take a motion and support on this so we can discuss it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support. Everybody happy with those changes that we made?
That's
Yes, yes.
Just exactly what we asked
Yep.
for.
Okay.
Now, do we have, we have to have a planning commission meeting on this, or they were
No,
just
we're good.
minor?
It's a minor change. We can approve it.
Go ahead.
Craig, is there something in our ordinances about rentals? I just want to make sure that. RV on,
Yeah, you can only have one dwelling on a property, so you can't have two houses on one parcel.
right, but I don't want something to happen to a house and then they rent out the RV. Something, our ordinance is already.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Montgomery's concern that,
You know, my thought is.
if a rental house burns down, now they're gonna rent out the trailer? as a
Well,
temporary-
or, you know, your house burns down, so you take the insurance money and stay in a hotel and rent out the trailer.
Well,
But
my,
it's probably not adequate for a rental. That's all I'm saying.
So is anything in there about, that the RV would have to be occupied by the,
And I didn't know if there's
Current
separate
owner.
rental ordinance, Craig, that would cover that? No, that would require a rental permit?
Require a rental permit.
which the city would have the right to deny?
Yes, they would. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
there,
we're covered, I just wanna make sure.
covers that.
any other discussion? Seeing none, Craig?
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Searly,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7C, introduction of ordinance number 340, an ordinance to amend chapter 32 of the city code, section 32.34, reducing the numbers for a quorum from 5 to 4 members for the Kitchell Linquist Partner Dunes Preserve Board. Just an introduction.
That's correct. So the Dune Preserve Board has been looking at the bylaws, and one of the things that they were looking at, the bylaws carry on from a previous amendment that wasn't changed, was it required 5 members to be a quorum. The board is a 7-member board right now, so a quorum is majority of the members that show up to 4. So they want to change the bylaws to reflect that.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Are we having a problem with people showing up for the meeting? I mean, we've got 7 members. I would think that 5 should show up for every meeting.
Can I say something, Your Honor? Since I was
Go
on
ahead, Jake.
KLH. Typically, for a 7-member board, quorum is 4, for any 7-member board. We're the only 7-member board in the city that requires 5.
Yeah.
We're just looking, speaking on behalf of KLH Dunes Preserve Board, to be the same as every other board in the city.
So it looks like you adopted your bylaws, or updated your bylaws to lower the total number of people several years ago and just never changed it.
Correct. The board used to be a 9-member board at one point, and that's when the quorum of 5 was set. They changed the number of board members to 7, but they did not update the quorum number. So now we're just doing that. That was done in 2018, I believe. Does that sound right, Craig?
Yes.
So we're just 12,
12 from 9.
regardless. A decade ago, it needs to be updated.
Administrative.
Makes sense.
So,
Makes sense.
Jake, are we having an issue with people not attending board meetings?
There was recently a meeting where there were 4 people there, and they couldn't, and there was not a quorum. So they decided,
Is that pretty constant that? or-
I wouldn't say it was constant.
Craig, are you,
There's no concern right now. There's one member short on the board right now, and then one of the members has taken sabbatical, so he's been off for 3 or 4 months. He's coming back, and we'll be back to full strength.
well, I'm not opposed to reducing the quorum, other than the fact that if we're having people not show up consistently.
Not an issue.
Okay, thank you. That was my major question.
Anyone else have anything on the quorum for KLH? Nope, let's move on. 7D, discussion to take action if appropriate to approve a recommendation from the Rec Commission to approve a quote from Sinclair Recreation for $22,418.66 for a piece of playground equipment at William Ferry Park. William, or
Yeah, I'll
City
make a
Hall?
motion to accept or to approve. And then
Support.
So, you want me to say something about this?
please?
So council originally, approved $15,000 to replace a toddler playground at William Ferry Park. So as you guys know, a tree fell on it. It was already. We need to pay for something else. We looked at several pieces, of equipment, that were comparable. And all of them were between 20 and 30, 25 and 30 grand, right, Craig?
In 20, 30.
So, we picked out the one that we felt made the most sense. It seemed to fit the other playground equipment that we have to room for it. It has, I believe this is the one, Craig, that has the broader age range.
Correct, 2 to 12.
So we got a 2 to 12 instead of just a 2 to 5. It just seemed to make more sense for that park. So we're asking for the 1,000. Craig reached out, and I believe they're holding the price.
That's correct.
They had a fall price that expired the end of October. That it was a pretty significant discount. Do you remember what the discount was, Craig?
$7,800.
So almost $8,000, and they are willing to honor that if we are able to approve the film. Craig, do we have the money in our budget for this to cover this?
Yes, we have the 15,000 left over from the painting at the roofs at the William Ferry Park. And we can adjust some of our purchases in the future for picnic tables and trash containers to make up the difference.
Your Honor?
Yes.
This isn't putting our picnic tables in jeopardy or anything like that,
It's basically the same space that took the other equipment.
but we're not, ones that we planned on replacing are dilapidated.
No, some of those picnic tables are the wooden ones, we're just been going to the metal one to be less maintenance.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else have anything?
Your Honor,
Yes.
you know, I've been talking about spending a lot, and here we're talking about $22,000 on a piece of playground equipment that I see could be accomplished with a fundraiser. I would rather see us raise the money rather than take it out of the city budget. The average age of our residents in Ferrisburgh is 57 years old. And although I appreciate our parks and I appreciate the playground equipment, we got to think about the resident. If this really serves the community. So I will not approve this. I would rather see it done with a fundraiser like they did at the Fire Barn Park. They raised over $100,000 for that equipment, and they had a volunteer group install it, and it cost the city zero money. And I'd rather see us go that route on this equipment at Ferry Park.
Very good. Any other comments?
I will say there was quite a bit of traction on social media from moms of young kids, specifically asking when we're going to have toddler equipment back, because not a lot of toddler equipment.
I understand that, but I believe if we start a fundraiser this fall, by spring, we should be well on our way to put it in service next summer.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I feel that we need to replace that equipment. We need to replace it ASAP. What was there was ruined. I noticed that when I'm there for the party in the parks and whatever, the kids use it. They need it. That's like a big deal for them. So I'm all for getting it now.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think the city needs to move forward with it. I tend to agree with Jerry in most cases, but this time I think it's a city responsibility to get it installed as soon as possible. And given it, we're getting almost $8,000 discount, now's the time, I think.
Your Honor, may I
Yes.
address, Will, what's the time frame for installation from the dealer? Have you discussed that?
We don't have that yet.
Anyone else have any comments? Seeing none, Craig?
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember Duet,
Yes.
Councilmember Sterling,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
No.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7E, presentation. Special recognition of Councilmember Sterling, who has served on City Council since January 6, 2024.
All right. You get your picture taken, come on.
Ron, are you up for a photo?
I suppose.
Do we need to move over
Yeah, we need
for the stamp to do
It's right by the logo, Jake.
Right here, right here.
Nice new logo.
Proclamation. Hard work. From you and Emily. Plaque. And then this is a proclamation resolution. Should I? This is a resolution by the City of Ferrisburg. Whereas Jake Surley was appointed to the Ferrisburg City Council in 2024, and whereas Jake provided informed and responsive leadership to Ferrisburg city government for over 2 years, and whereas Jake has volunteered and served on the Kitchell-Lindquist Dunes Preserve Board while on City Council, and whereas Jake represented the City of Ferrisburg with honesty, integrity, and as a dedicated public servant, and whereas Jake continually encouraged the citizens of Ferrisburg to participate in their local government, and whereas Jake was well-prepared and informed while attending meetings and contributed to discussions and decisions for the betterment of our city, and whereas Jake is leaving the City Council as of November 17th, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Ferrisburg expresses its sincere appreciation to Jake Sterling for his years of dedicated service to the City of Ferrisburg, and be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Ferrisburg requests all citizens of Ferrisburg to join the City Council in recognizing Jake for his record of public service to the City of Ferrisburg and to all of our citizens. Moving on to 7F work session, City Hall rentals. Craig, you want to start this off?
Yes. We've had a tenant move out of City Hall that was using 2 rooms down on the east wing. Another tenant in that east wing has indicated that they might be moving out at the end of this year as well. So I want to talk to City Council, if you want to try to lease those spaces again, if you want to do any improvements at the space before it goes out for lease, or work that into a lease arrangement with a new tenant.
Are these people leaving strictly because of the rental rates?
The one that was renting 2 rooms is leaving because of the condition of the room. The one that's leaving, the one leasing 1 room is leaving because they're building a new building and probably move their work over to that new building. They do a appliance ministry here, Love in Action. So they got a new building on Ferry Street.
How about the daycare and basketball?
Daycare, they just signed a new lease or extended their lease till December 31st of 2026. Basketball Basics current lease expires either April or March or April of 2026.
Because we did receive that email in from Councilmember Sterling about the basketball basics.
Yeah.
Just wondering, some of them aren't leaving because of the rental rate.
Correct.
Your Honor. So I did send an email out to council. I spoke to one of our tenants, Basketball Basics, Kim McGannon, wonderful guy. Been here for a while. You know, imagine this for there's some business people here that own their own business, maybe have an office or don't. But imagine that your rent goes up. For him, it's gonna go up from $850 to approximately $1,300 a month. That's a significant raise. We're talking about, what, a 75% increase in rent? It's hard for a business owner to plan for a rent increase like that. I was supportive of increasing the rent rates for the space in City Hall initially. But after hearing some of the stories and seeing some of how the tenants have reacted, perhaps we didn't give it the proper thought as to how they would react and be able to budget for a dramatic increase like that. A lot of these businesses are community-oriented businesses. They serve the community as well as pay us rent. They provide the community additional value. And I would hate to see anyone leave this space, especially long-term tenants, because we dramatically raise their rate. We don't know where they're going to go. If they leave this community, they may go to another community, and we don't get the same the same kind of communal benefits that we would if they were to leave. They do good things for the citizens in our area. Jim deals with a lot of the youth. He helps shape character for kids that come through there. I would hate to see us lose a tenant like that.
Your Honor. Craig, I thought I was under the impression we were doing like a stepped approach to the increase where it wasn't gonna, that 75% increase wasn't gonna happen in one contract.
We are. So Mr. McGann is correct. He's at $850. He's been there since, at that rate since 2020. So he's got 6 years of that at $850. And just as a side note, Mr. McGann does sublease the gym out on Friday night or Saturday nights.
Yeah.
And then
Sublease, do we pay for a sublease or no when we use it?
when it gets subleased, Mr. McGann gets that payment.
Okay. What about when the city uses it?
The city, we have rights to it. And then, Mr. McGann also does something with mindset or something like that, coaching mental strength. And on occasion, he uses this room for his presentation. So the city has offered, since he's a long-term tenant, to let him use this room, especially on the weekend at no charge when no one's using it.
Your Honor? Craig, he's paying $850 a month now,
Correct.
and his new lease goes into effect when? At $1,200 a month?
If he renews his lease, it would be going up to $1,200 April of next year.
I thought we were doing a tiered raise to that, Craig, where it only went up incremental, eventually getting to 12 or whatever we decided.
My understanding was it's gonna go up like 5 or 10% per year till we reached, that was the way I understood it.
Yeah.
I'm with you, William. Just to take it from $850 to $1,200 in one step seems a bit excessive.
We're also asking them to pay 5% of the utilities. So
Right,
that's gonna be,
and refinish the floor.
Well, he's currently doing that.
Right.
He's not currently paying utilities, right?
He's not paying utilities, and the city has been paying for the floor.
Well, the city's been paying for the floor?
Your Honor?
Yes.
I was against this from the get-go. I think we're asking, it was too high prices, we're asking too much. We're losing tenants, and now we're gonna just have empty spaces. So
We're
what
not
good?
losing them because of the rent.
Well, we are with the one that he's talking about, that Jake's talking about, and also,
Well, that's basketball basics. They're
and
not leaving.
also the ones that have the 2 rooms. When we went and did the tour of the 2 rooms, I was horrified. We should pay them to be using those rooms. That's how bad those rooms are. Shame on all of us. Expecting people to pay us high rent and let them have those rooms are atrocious. I wouldn't put my dog in that room. So we are gonna have empty spaces, and we're gonna have to fix them if we're ever gonna have any hope of re-renting. Nobody's gonna rent that. I mean, the windows don't even keep the cold out. It's awful. So I think we need to tap down this rent rate a little bit. It's too high, especially nonprofit.
Your Honor. Craig, you mentioned something that we had too many for-profit tenants, that it would change our tax status.
That's correct.
Can you give us a little more insight into that?
Sure. So when the building was purchased back in 2006, we didn't know exactly what was going to be done with the building. So at that time, the bond attorney said, well, if you're going to use it for rent now to making a profit, we should probably do, we did 50% of our bond anticipation notes as taxable and the other 50% as non-taxable, because there was concern of having a for-profit business in here. When we were at the old city hall and Jazzercise was leasing out the room, there was questions on if building was basically used for profit and not for government purposes. And so in 2006, after we bought the building, Ottawa County Mental Health leased that the whole east wing out. So there was never a concern at that time when we started moving to City Hall in here that there was going to be more for-profit businesses in this building than nonprofit with the government and mental health in there. Then when mental health went out, we happened to get Pioneer Resources and Love in Action and Gateway Go Serve Church in there, which is all nonprofit.
Where are we at now?
So basically, it's all, when Pioneer Resources was here, it was pretty much all nonprofit, and Walden Green counts as a nonprofit too. So basically, this building is used for governmental nonprofit uses. The only business we have in here right now is the daycare and basketball basics. So, you know, I have no concern with lowering the rent for basketball basic. He's comes in here, he's been in here since 2010. I guess my question to put this on the work session is, what do we want to do with the empty spaces now? Do we want to do any improvements, or do we want to hire a realtor to come in and try to lease out as is and work in that any improvements in the new rates?
Your Honor? My question to you is, what would you recommend we do? I mean, you're the fiscal officer of the city.
Depends on who you get in here. If someone comes in here with a nonprofit and they want to fix it here and would be a long-term tenant, I'd like to work with them to get a long-term tenant in here and use some kind of balance with the rent and improvements to keep them in here, so they can design it the way they want it, so it's functional for what their use is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think it's smart to engage a realtor and get their opinion.
But a realtor is going to have a commission as well, you know.
When we rent it.
Well,
So
we
they'll
can-
get a percentage of that rent probably.
We can advertise on our own as far as that goes, you know, to try and keep the realtor commission out of it. So my question would be, if we had an entity come in and want to rent long-term, would the city be willing to upfront the remodel cost and then get reimbursed through the rent over a period of 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Is that an option that you would be willing?
Yes, it would be. When basketball basics came in this building, we had 2 basketball nets, one on each end of the court. Mr. McGann put in fiberglass backboards, he put in some extra backboards, so the gym is functional for what his use is. In return, for him putting those basketball nets and backboards in, the city gave him a discount for 5 months, I think, 4 or 5 months rent-free to help him pay for those improvements.
Well, I think that's an option we should explore because, to Debbie's, comment, some of them are pretty, wore out. Needs carpet and some upgrades. So I wonder if we want to put that on the city website, maybe take a, ad in the paper or something of that nature.
So all the tenants that have been in this building, and the city's never advertised, it's been word of mouth that they have tenants come in here, so I guess I was just looking for information from city council on how they want to move forward, if they want to do any improvements in those rooms first, or try to get a tenant in here and work with a tenant improvements.
That position, to get the tenant first and work with them. And if we have to give them, if they're gonna spend 10,000 to remodel to their needs, maybe give them 6 months free rent or something of that nature, or pay 5% of the snowball, whatever.
Yeah, it's something that can be negotiated.
Right.
Your Honor, one other question for Craig. The tenant that left, due to the room condition, was that,
Pioneer Resources.
have they already signed another lease somewhere else, or they potentially be, could you double back to talk to them and or potentially offer something up to keep them?
They wanted that.
But I think
They
their
wanted us.
request was that we pay.
I think that we came back with them and basically gave no counter. We're in a different spot now. I think it's probably worth a conversation between Craig and Pioneer Resources if they have not signed another lease somewhere else.
They moved, they're out of the building now, and so I'm guessing they have another lease.
Then
I
that's
I
probably
talked to
too
the
late.
maintenance person, and he said they had to do some things in there to get the permit.
Okay.
Yeah, they're already gone and moved out, correct?
Correct.
But again, we still gotta be financially responsible with money. Like there has to be a middle ground for, so I recognize giving a good deal for nonprofits. But, you know, in this exercise, we found like the average rent for a commercial space is like $12 a square foot. We're charging 50 cents a square foot, right? Like there's some middle ground there that like, we don't have to charge $12 a square foot, but we could charge $2 a square foot and, you know, show our taxpayers we're at least.
Do you think we could do
Balancing.
something for the basketball?
I think there needs to be a policy that's reasonable as far as increasing from one lease to another, so that businesses can plan for the increase. A 75% increase is significant for any business.
No, but a 10% increase after having a stagnant cost for 6 years isn't unreasonable.
But it's not.
We don't have to go with that. What I'm saying, like nothing, we haven't agreed on a contract.
You know, my perspective would be different if we were struggling to pay for this building. This building is, we don't need these tenants to pay for this building. We should make sure that there's tenants in here and if providing some sort of revenue, but if they provide community good also, that should be given merit also. And this City Hall should not be run like a for-profit, for-rent building. It shouldn't. We have to keep in mind that these are business owners, nonprofit and profit, and that they budget like every other business owner, even though despite the fact that they're in City Hall, they have a budget, a yearly budget that they're working off of. And when you increase someone's rent from one lease to the next by 75%, that is significant. Are we considering the last 6 years? I mean, I guess you can, but Jim isn't, because that's what he's been paying. And he sees it as, I'm increasing from one lease to the next lease. If you would like to get him to a certain price point, I think that's reasonable. but not all at once.
Yeah,
A 10% raise in one lease and a 10% raise in the following lease until you get to somewhere that's more within a reasonable market rate, I think that's, perfectly acceptable. But from go to one rate to another rate and for it to be a 75% increase is too significant for most small business
but I don't
owners
think
to shoulder.
anybody's pushing.
Yeah, we're
that's
doing
what-
it in increments, right? He's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody's pushing for that.
What's the lease that's been proposed to Basketball Basics for their next lease?
$1,200.
Okay,
Yes, I wasn't.
350.
I was under the impression when we last spoke about this, that we agreed on the 12 or whatever it was, and we were gonna raise it incrementally over time to get there. So
That's
maybe
correct. That's correct.
so when does that increment come in? Because,
850 to 1250,
right, that's not incremental,
that's too
right?
much.
Like
So
850 to
it's
900
850
is
to
incremental.
1,200. So it's $350.
That's too much.
yeah, plus 5% utilities, which is $50 to $100.
Sure.
I mean, I'm talking
So-
100 or
so-
100.
Yes, so Craig, can we rework that incremental
Sure.
and make it a reasonable
I mean, we're
increase?
gonna end up with
Again, if you want to get to a certain price point with renting a space, I have no problem with it. No issues at all. But doing it all at once is what I have an issue with.
I mean, do you guys think 10% a year is fair? I mean, that's $80, right? Plus the 5%, or, we could do 5% the first year because we're adding the 5% for utilities.
I just think in general, it would be a good policy for city council to have for renewing leases or revisiting them, to put some sort of cap on the increase. Because otherwise, you're gonna end up seeing a lot more of what has happened with the tenants that left.
Next
losing all
agenda,
these
Craig.
tenants.
Next agenda.
Connor?
Yes.
Craig, the building's paid for, correct?
Yes.
So, there, we have no compelling reason to try to, raise the rates to Jake's point to, exorbitant, like, I don't wanna say it's exorbitant, but you know what I mean, the increase. So could we look at perhaps, he's at 850 now, he signs a 2 or 3 year contract,
Usually 2 years.
excuse me?
2 years.
Go 10%.
He's also told me he's willing to pay for the floor refinishing, which is $3,000. If I thought that he was already doing that. He told me he was splitting it with someone else, but he said he's willing to shoulder that cost as well. There's other things that you can ask these tenants to do to
Right.
kind of recoup some of this.
I understand, I agree that, going from 850 to 1,200 in one jump, I doubt he would leave because I'm not so sure there's other places for him to go, but we still have to be fair with him. And I don't think going from 850 to 1,200 in one lump sum is being fair to a long-time tenant.
Okay, we'll bring something back to you.
And to your point about Pioneer Resources and people financing repairs, right now, we're sitting with empty building in 2 rooms empty in Pioneer's space.
Correct.
Conceivably, we could have a tenant in there and have them paying for the improvements to improve our building.
Right. And
We'd be better off having a tenant in there doing that, buying all of the rent to foreign or whatever it is.
but for a period of 4 months or
Yeah.
6 months or something,
Yep.
because, like I say, the building's paid for.
Yep.
So all we have basically is utilities.
Mhm.
So any money we take in rent is, icing on the cake, as it were.
Well, I think those rooms would have to have a lot of work done before anybody's gonna come here and pay us rent.
But if someone came and wanted to rent, we could make that offer.
Exactly.
Hey, you put 6,000 in, we'll give you 3 months, 4 months, free rent or whatever. I would expect Craig to work something out that was fair to both sides.
Yep.
He's pretty
We can
reasonable
address it
guy.
in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we can.
Ideas and things.
Yep.
Cool. Anybody else have anything on this work session item?
I think we covered it pretty good.
Good.
I'm satisfied, yeah. I won't be back next meeting to complain.
Is that a promise, Jake?
Fire everybody up. Jason.
No, I won't be the
Moving on to agenda item number 8, public comments. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to ask Mr. Bessinger, in regards to the fire truck fund balance, where are we at? Do we have 600,000 available for the low bidder?
Right now, we have a little over $700,000 from the millage.
Outstanding.
So the truck would be paid for with cash, and we'll still have some money left over to work on some purchase on the public works trucks. Our current millage for vehicles expires in 2031. At that time, we're gonna ask for renewal, and it'll probably be a little bit higher than what we're doing right now with the
That's
half a
great
mil.
news. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments tonight? Okay. Moving on to a report, city manager.
No report?
Okay, who would like to go first here? Which end?
Start at the other end, it takes last turn.
Okay, I'll use my report for my, my final comments
Oh,
here.
here we go.
I want to take a moment to thank Mayor Rich Carlson, Mayor Pro Tem William Montgomery, Council members Bill Kate and Debbie Murdoch for voting yes to appoint me to City Council nearly 2 years ago. It's been a privilege to serve the citizens of Ferrysburg with all of you. As a councilman, my most rewarding moments came when residents reached out for help and I was able to make a difference. That's really what public service is all about. Despite some of the rhetoric we've heard in meetings lately, there are no financial emergencies or crises at City Hall. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Our city manager, Craig Bessinger, does an outstanding job managing the city's finances and keeping us on track. His professionalism makes it easy for city council members to do our jobs effectively. I decided not to seek another term on city council because my wife and 2 young children deserve more of my time right now. But I'm confident this council will continue serving the community well. I've spoken with my likely successor, David Cook, a handful of times, and I believe he'll work hard for the people of Ferrysburg. I'll offer one word of caution. Be wary of anyone who puts personal ambition above the city's best interests. Ferrysburg needs leaders who serve to strengthen the community and not themselves. We need a city government that solves problems, not one that creates them. Mayor Carlson, Mayor Pro Tem Montgomery, Council members Bill Kate and Debbie Murdoch are problem solvers, and we need more people like them serving in Ferrysburg city government. Finally, while Ferrysburg is already a wonderful place to live and work, I encourage our leaders and staff not to grow complacent. Our city has incredible potential if we continue to imagine what's possible and build on our natural beauty and community spirit. To my fellow council members, thank you again for the opportunity to serve the residents of Ferrysburg. And to the citizens of Ferrysburg, thank you for your trust. It's truly been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tice.
Just want to thank everybody and remind everybody to vote tomorrow. Hopefully we have a good turnout. So.
Yes, Beautification Commission, my commission, we had a great Halloween Monster Bash. It was, I think, the most attended, think, Craig?
I think so.
That we've ever had. It was fabulous. We had Culver's giving out ice cream. We had the Pizza Marco Pizza giving out pizza. We had the candy. I mean, it was great. Everything was great. It was wonderful. So thanks, everybody. For that. Now we're going to move on to our Christmas, the bonfire and the carol sing, and also the light contest. We're going to have that going on too. So everybody vote for your neighbors that have good lights. End of report.
That's a dumb stare.
I know. Any comment?
Yeah, I encourage all the citizens to get out and vote, and thank you, Jake, for your service. We don't always agree, but we've always had the best interests of the city at heart. And done.
Mr. Kate?
Last Tuesday, the 28th, I attended the recognition ceremony for the DPW workers who did all the tree planting. It was held at William Ferry Park. I didn't realize how many trees, 170 trees our guys planted, and that they deserved the pat on the back that they got, so that was nice to be there. And then on Thursday, I attended the EMS committee that's been working on getting a new contract for ambulance service in this part of the county. There's an RFP, request for proposals, going out, probably go out by mid-month to 4 different companies with an eye towards getting new service effective January 1st. That's really a solid drop-dead date because our current contract expires on December 31st. If you're interested in looking at that, let me know, and I can send you a Word copy of it. I'm not about to print 60-some pages of stuff for you to look at. If you're interested, I'll send you an electronic copy. Just shoot me an email and I'll let you know. End of report.
Great.
Sure. Jump on in, Mike. Right. It'll be electronic, though, I'm telling you.
The crunch time is December 31st? Okay. Yes, Mike.
Bill, could you email it to Craig and have it printed out for those of us who are interested?
Those of you who live in the Stone Age can get a paper copy from Craig.
That would be me.
Email's fine.
That's gonna be emailed to everybody though?
Yep.
The city council?
Right. I'll do it tonight.
End of report?
End of report. Again.
Yeah, we had rec commission meeting, talked about William Ferry Park. The park looks great with all the new trees, so C3. All the trees that they provided the community, both to residents as well as to our various parks. They planned in Ferrysburg Park and or Fire Barn Park and William Ferry Park. And, they look great. I'm excited to see what William Ferry Park looks like in 20 years when we have a canopy again. Nora also met. We discussed candidates for our open director position. The executive committee is meeting later this week to conduct interviews, and then we'll take those back to take a recommendation back to a vote and hopefully have a executive director in the next month or so. We've been working with Grand Haven HR, so that's been super helpful. Other than that, Jake, thank you for your time on council. Thanks for stepping in, sort of in the middle of everything after a crazy election. We really appreciate your time and dedication. Deb, I just wanted to say, over the last, I think 6 years, 4 years, you've been, whatever it's been, you've been on beautification. It's just, every year gets better. Whether it's the 4th of July parade or the Christmas caroling and tree lighting and adding a star and the Monster Bash, my kids, and I know a lot of other kids, not just in Ferrysburg, but around the Tri-Cities, right, come to Ferrysburg for these events and just absolutely love them. So please pass that on, ladies, on your committee. Just an absolutely amazing job that they're all doing. Lastly, Jerry, Bill, hope you have a happy Veterans Day coming up. Thank you both for your service, both to the city and to our country. With that, end of report.
I just had a couple things real quick, and that was, the Monster Bash was fantastic. And I can't improve on the words that William just shared about the fantastic job that you're doing with beautification. Working out fantastic. Yeah, it's very well received by the citizens of the whole Tri-Cities, that's for sure. Christmas and Monster Bash and the whole program is just fantastic. And Jake, thank you so much for your service. You know how much it's meant to me and how much it's meant to the city citizens. Mike just said about having disagreement, and that's a good thing. I think it's good to have good, healthy disagreement with good conversation, and that's one of the things that you've been able to bring to the table. Has been some good discussions, so I really appreciate that. Good thoughts, words of wisdom. Other than that, tomorrow's election day, so don't forget to vote.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
And I'll miss you, Jay.
Right down the road, Debbie.
I know. I'll be down there knocking on your door. Oh, boy.